Strike that, reverse it. Worst gift ever. And what kind of man do you want to be? All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my
still
thing.
vibrating.
I'm shaking my. Hey, Melissa.
Hello, Lovesky. How are you?
I'm a little sore-throated.
Is that from screaming on sidelines?
Screaming my head off, and also in Come On, Let's Go, and also in Celebration for You Did It. So it's a lot of screaming. And also, frankly, at the banquet, where you're screaming things like, yes, I'll have a drink, because it was so crazy loud in there. How are you? How's your life? What's happening? What's cooking? What you got?
My life's pretty good. I mean, I don't have a lot of complaints, which is not surprising because I live a very privileged, excellent life. I do have a couple of super funny things to tell you.
Hit me.
I know that you... No, I would never. I know that you like updates on the Shore House, and I wanted to tell you that we went down there the other day to meet the builder to say, because the windows are in and the roof is on.
Wow.
And like all these things are moving. But the super funny part was the reason we could just go for the day or most of the day is that we left our dogs to get groomed. Right. So we go to this daycare doggy groomer place and we have 6 hours, right? It's 2 hours a dog because they're floofy dogs. And I brought them all at once, which I don't typically do. And it's super close to our house because we've got one who vomits in the car, guaranteed. And so we're walking in and there's a rubber mat at the front door that has the largest, I'm going to say, Mastiff Shadooby I've ever seen. And it wasn't a healthy Shadooby because he's nervous. He's going into this place. It was so gross. And
at least it was on a rubber mat. So it was like a human femur-sized dog wet turd.
It was a pile of such grossness, but somebody had obviously, by accident, maybe kicked it a little, so it's not all in one place. It kind of moved around a little. There was movement to
maybe
it.
He was walking.
maybe
he was poop dog walking.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, my dog. I have a dog who does that at the trio.
Those are bad. They're not good.
So we're like trying to control 3 crazy dogs. We're like, where are we going? And we're keeping their leashes super close to our side so they don't get in the Shadooby. Meanwhile, they're getting groomed like Shadoob away. But
I was going to say, if you're a super dick, you just don't worry about that shit because they're getting ready to get washed anyway. So, all right, here's a little extra something for you. It's like eating Oreos before you go to the dentist. I mean, at a certain point.
I tell my kids that all the time.
I'm paying you.
Earn your money, friend. Earn your copay. I don't know.
No.
So we get inside and we're like sweating now because it's both hot out. It might also be raining because every day I groom my dogs, it rains. Murphy's Law follows me. And I get inside. We're like, here are the 3 leashes. They've tied themselves up into a crazy knot. And here, they're your problem now. By the way, super cute young girl behind the counter. There is a Shadooby the size of my head right outside this door. And it's kind of a situation out there.
Is she the poop whisperer? She gets all the dogs who want to deuce it, and that's the way it's going to be?
Look, when you work at a kennel, at your half of your job, you just have to know is going to be cleaning up vomit, is going to be cleaning up duty, is going to be expressing anal glands.
So why is this the chosen job? There are a lot of jobs. I don't get.
She's young. She likes dogs. I don't know. Some people don't mind stuff like that.
No, they do. Come on.
I don't think. I mean, think about nurses. Think about the nurses that help you deliver your 3 babies. That is way grosser than a Shadooby on the. It's
a miracle of life, and that part takes like 22 seconds, right? That's the part where they're like, "All right, look to the other side." somebody's got this.
As opposed to what? Half your day is dog shit? Is that?
I kind of feel like it. Labor takes a while, and then there's a little bit of after party that happens that you don't really want.
Party.
That you don't really want. But the rest of it, and I mean, maybe they're like stabbing people with needles. That's sort of fun, That's different. So that, like, I don't know.
Choosing, not a party. Okay.
Well, it's like, honestly, it occurred to me, I'm trying to think of what test we had done or why this popped into my brain. I don't even know. Maybe it was a story on the news. Similar profession. When you're a lab tech or a researcher and all you're doing are doing like poop smears. That's what it was. Somebody was telling me they got a Cologuard. That's right. Somebody was describing, I got Cologuard instead of doing a regular colonoscopy. I've done neither, even though I'm due for probably both. But hey, I'm not. No thanks. So anyway, I'll do it. I'm very healthy. I'm going to do all my stuff.
You better.
Yay, it's great. Well, Cologuard, she was walking us through the steps of that thing. I will spare you the steps of that thing. They make it look on TV with that little cartoon like you basically, wiping your crack with a postcard and you're done. No, there's maneuvers. You got to have like a bucket. It's a lot of stuff. And so that led me to think, who is the Cologuard operative where all you do all day is you're opening up mail with people's shit in it and you get to process their literal poo coming to you in the mail. That's your whole day. You're opening mail.
With duty.
It's addressed to you and it has poops in it. And you have to then like handle it, literally manipulate and handle it. What? Come on.
It's awful.
You went to college.
And they don't even get the dog.
For this.
They don't even get the doggy love. What's that song? Young, dumb, and broke. Yeah, I mean, if you're young, dumb, and broke,
you got to be really young and really
broke.
I don't know who wants this. I don't know who wants this.
So I tell her about it, and she said, "Oh," she was really like, "Oh no!" And she jumped up and she went to go outside. She followed us after they took our dogs, and the guy in front of me, he and his wife were walking out after probably doggy daycare drop off, and he steps right in it, and he's wearing sandals. Good morning. It's 9 a.m. and you are like toe deep in sick duty.
And he's probably got some kind of nonsense dog that doesn't even, that poops like a pinky's worth. And so he has no concept of what like a proper dog.
But like you could hear it, right? Squish. Like he goes right in it. And I have a foul mouth, right? I have a foul mouth.
Yep.
I
One
drive
more
truck
reason to love you.
on the
That's
side.
it.
Right. So he made me blush with the shit that came out of his mouth. And I thought he was furious. He lost his mind. And his wife turned to Stuart and to me. And she said, "I'm so sorry."
You should have looked right back and said, "That was my dog's poo."
Who the fuck would do this? And like he lost.
It wasn't just like, "I'm so angry there's poop on my skin." He went into full attack mode. It's okay when you start sounding like a rugby player when you have like truly up to your patella in gooey dog pooey. That's okay for you to lose your business for a few seconds. But when you start immediately like, "I'm going to burn this place down."
He was going to burn the place down. Yeah, it was.
Oh, no.
So Stuart and I immediately started to laugh. Like, we just told she's going to. So she apologized to us for her husband. And then I tell my brother about it because I can't stop laughing. And he said, "Well, it's clear what has to happen."
What?
And he said, "First thing is, you throw away those shoes immediately." Like you throw those away. He said, "You go in the back of your car where you have those supermarket bags and you rubber band them around your feet. You drive yourself home." And I said, "They're making really good strides with prosthetics these days. You might have to take your feet off too, because
I agree, because you can't. It will never be clean again.
You will never be clean again.
Just thank God it's not your hands, because you're gonna put that up to your face and other people's face, and maybe at some point after some chicken, you're gonna stick your fingers in your mouth.
At some point after some chicken," she says.
I'm just here. Our good friend Dr. Joe. I swear. He's a urologist. And I think, pal, You can't get your hands clean enough for me. How? Come on. What is that? When is
Urology is cleaner than proctology.
He does all of the business.
He does all the ologies.
I'm underselling him. He's world class. Blah blah. Super great. I just think to myself, and he loves to tell you what he was touching that day. That's Dr. Joe, right? Because he's hilarious. But it's just also, there's not a triple glove enough for me. That's still pretty close. And I'm an earthy gal, right? I'm not one of these like, I cannot handle it. I'm just saying I don't wish to physically handle it. I don't want to go picking up people's business.
Or stepping in it.
As my business. That's not, who chooses this? It's a profession. And let's take Dr. Joe for an example. He's helping people. These are people who absolutely have life-changing help when they're done seeing him, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody who has a bucket and a mop and a rubber mat that's filled with, canine.
Get a bucket, get a mop.
Canine loosey goosey poosey. No.
She came out with a hose and a nozzle, and she just sprayed that shit up against the wall. But I mean, ew. And yes, you now have 1 foot. I'm sorry. Had you lose the foot, there was a shadoobie incident.
It was a mastiff.
I'll tell you after a few drinks.
My mastiff moment. Yeah, it's gross. So gross.
Yeah. So we started our drive down to the shore, just hysterical laughing. I'm really sorry for my husband. I'm like, don't be sorry. I do the same thing.
He just made my next 2 weeks, right? Because now I'm going to be sitting here laughing whenever anything makes me really pissed off in the safe way. They don't have my kind of rice or whatever it is. I'm just going to think of him losing his shit. Overstepping in shit.
Over shit. I don't mean to be distracted. I do have my first topic for you. Oh, by the way, the house looks great. The windows are in, the roof is on. So
wait a minute. So the whole beach update is that we met some poor soul who stepped up to his waist in deuce
and freaked out.
The roof is on fire. No. We pay insurance premiums.
I want to bang this thing out in the beginning because I'm kind of distracted. I did talk last week about, gift receiving and sucking at it or being a great gift receiver, even when the gift is so fucking stupid. And we got we got some feedback on that. And we did have a friend who actually did purchase that yodeling pickle that was in Stuart's cart. No, he checked out that he had canceled because stop it. Okay. Just stop it. But I found a worse gift. I found the worst gift.
No,
I found the worst gift, and I'm going to text it to you right now because I want an authentic reaction from you. If you tell your husband you would like a piece of jewelry,
let's see what we got.
Which you tell your spouse you like.
What are you doing? Where? Who? Stop it. Wait. Look it. How many? When?
Can you describe what I sent you first?
No. We gotta go back.
Yeah.
There's a deeper concern.
What's that?
In the violence that I just received through telecommunications from you.
Yeah.
Listen. Look it.
Tell me.
How do you find this content? Because it can't be seeking you out.
It does.
That's a red flag
for me. Something's wrong with me.
That's a red flag. This is not what people should send you. Jewelry made out of human teeth.
Yes, dear listener, I was on Facebook today.
This one has like a filling in it.
Oh, that's even worse. Or just a cavity.
That's a filling. That's a silver filling.
Yeah. And the ones on the top, they have fillings in them. I see this. 2 people I know peripherally on Facebook have commented on this site. Oh, what is this site? And it comes up and it has teeth, like molars. It has molars on the top. We will put it on Brillab Squad. So head over to Facebook where you can see, and or Instagram at Listen Brilliant, but Facebook at Brilliant Observations, Brillab Squad, and take a look at these rings. I assume they're just rings. There's more there, isn't there?
This, brought to you by the makers of the scrotum earring. I mean, what is next? What is next?
Well, we used to have rabbit's feet as good luck charms.
And that's super gross.
It is. It really is. Can we appreciate that for a second? But it's soft. It is the hand of an animal. You are
Victorian people used to braid little brooches out of their dead people's hair and wear it as a pin. There's lots of kooky, goofy ass shit that humans have done that we don't need to do anymore. Why? It's creepy and gross. I don't want to carry a dead animal in my pocket. I don't want.
And how is that
teeth.
lucky?
I don't want teeth from someone else's body as like an ornament on me. You know who does that?
No.
People in cartoons who have like a spear and a very small little bikini made of animal skin, and they're ready to stab you in the throat. Those kind of people are the ones who have teeth necklaces, right? And rings and things. These are from cannibals. That's the word I wanted. These are from cannibals. Look at who I chopped up and devoured. This is not like, oh, my baby's teeth fell out of their head. You know what? Let me wear it always.
We had a topic on the pod a year ago, 2 years ago. Maybe, I don't know if you were on pod yet. It was about your deceased loved ones and their tattoos.
I know, and that was not me. I was actually going to bring it up, but I didn't because I thought, I know Jessica did that, and I didn't want to say anything. Did she actually go through with it, or did she like doing it?
No.
And the thing is, you tell them, go.
Your loved one dies, and they have these tattoos on their body.
Wait a minute. You started that out so sad and creepy. It's so hilarious. So here we are, guys. So your loved one's dead. And the first thing that you do is like a little recipe.
Is you take a tiny scalpel. So your loved one dies, and you take a tiny scalpel, and
now you put them in the Cuisinart, and you grind them all the way up.
You remove the skin where their tattoo was, and they make a canvas out of it, and they frame it, and you hang it in your. I don't know. I like
creepy fucking house, I guess.
I like potty art, and I wouldn't hang it in my body. So I don't know where you hang it.
First of all, that's not the one I thought Jessica did. I do remember, now that you say this, that she brought that on pod, and because I listened, of course, to your whole podcast and our dear friend Jess, who we love, and we'll see very soon.
I'm going to see her today.
The canvas. You jerk! This canvas thing. I was just in her hometown, and I didn't see her at all. She doesn't live there anymore, and so I can't really call out you jerk. Tell her I said hello.
I'm going to see her, the trio, today for dinner.
Here is the tattoo dealio that I thought she was considering, so set me straight. I thought she was going to do the one where they impregnate the ink of your tattoo with the cremated remains of your deceased loved one.
She did that. She has that.
She did it. She did. She put So she has her deceased daughter embedded in tattoo ink, embedded in her skin.
In
right.
her arm.
And I know another woman who I used to work with. Very sad story. Her daughter died on Mother's Day, totally unexpectedly due to an previously undiagnosed food allergy. It was super traumatic, and it just happened just this Mother's Day. And within a week, she had a tattoo on her arm, and I thought, is this another one? So it must be something that is close to that specific parent-child grieving process, where that feels exactly like the thing that you need to do. Because to me, I can't get my head around it. But I don't have any tattoos, so I'm sort of 18 steps removed already. Do what you're gonna do, man. Whatever you're gonna do, I endorse. I think it's great. I'm just saying, to me, I'm like, that does not cross my mind. That's not the thing that I would think of.
I got to tell you, in these modern days, if I came into your home and I saw your deceased loved one's body parts hanging in a frame in your
stretched
home,
out, like splayed out,
stretched
it
out
on the canvas.
I'm out. Like I can't tell you how quickly that friendship, that relationship, any ship that was ever possible
That's
in
a
that
deal breaker. That's a deal breaker.
Absolutely.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, sure.
That's a deal breaker?
Yeah. Is it a joke that you inherited from your... No, I still don't want your DNA dead... No. Wow. No. You have a tattoo on your body about your dead ex-husband or your dead whatever. Sure. Put a tattoo on your body.
That's on you.
Art. To have gone through with removing it from someone else's body... I mean, I can't even finish the fucking sentence. So as I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see this teeth thing, I did threaten my mother. though, that I was going to, after that, remember I told you they got a mausoleum where they're going to be like the fifth drawer
Yeah,
up?
they go and they have lunches there.
Yeah, they have the DHOA, the Dead Homeowners Association.
Dead Homeowners Association, and they go and have drinks there with their dead friend.
One dead, four still living. Yeah, the five of them.
I find that horribly, horribly hilarious in every way that I adore. So it's awful and great.
I said, Dad, do you put like a tuna hoagie a tuna sandwich in front of your deceased friend's drawer? Is that where?
Oh, it's good times. It's good times.
So they paid all of this money for this mausoleum. And I said, that's great. What I'm really going to do is I'm going to have you cremated into jewelry, and I'm going to make like a cremation diamond out of it. A cremation diamond, don't shake your head at me. A cremation diamond, you would not know the difference. Only I would. This tooth on a ring is disturbing.
Stop it. Why do you want to carry your mother around on a diamond on your neck?
I don't, because first things first, I would lose it. And then that's just more offensive than anything else.
Do you really want her that close to you always, like an ornament? Or is that your way of saying, I got you, biatch?
Who's in control now, bitch?
That's right.
Who lost you in my...
That girl's go in the corner. I'm putting you in the drawer. It's dark in there.
Tell me,
scared.
Tell me who's a disappointment right now is I just dropped you down the sink.
Oh!
I continue to disappoint. Flushed him down 1,000 feet below. Yeah.
I don't think you want jewelry of
No, I did want to make her crazy, though. So she's like, no, I paid for it.
That's fine. I endorse. That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so cremation diamonds are one thing. I have, and she's like, oh, I'll be so tiny by then, because she finally caught on to, I hope she's joking. I said, don't worry. I'm going to mix all of your bones with all of my dogs and get a bigger diamond. So you'll be in there.
These are such love-filled conversations.
And she dropped the phone and walked away, and my father picked up.
You guys really have a great bond. I love it. I think
my father picked up and he said, what did you do? Knock it off. You know my father. Knock it off.
Yes. Turn about, baby. Turn about. I'm just giving her back the love she raised me with, Pop.
Don't worry, Dad. You'll go in the drawer with your friends. It's fine.
Oh, my God.
Drawer 3. You'll be in drawer 3 with your friends. I don't get it. You're gone. You have no cognition. There's nothing left. Why are you going through all of this? You're not even being buried or rolled into a cabinet anywhere near any family you've ever had.
Well,
Why is this a production?
Well, they have a daughter who's already making plans to grind them into dust and turn it into jewelry. So
correct.
Perhaps they're thinking about, did I have any mark on this planet? Will anyone remember me in a way that's not shoved into a drawer? There, literally. So I'll shove myself in the drawer and then I control it. I don't know. I don't know. I think that I think everyone on occasion puts a little thought into how they will be remembered, what happens when they are no longer here.
Absolutely.
Beyond legacy, there is the vanity of who will think of me and in what way. I also know that when I go to a cemetery, very rarely, some people just go there for photographs because they think it's a pretty place, all these kinds of things. Others have a family history where it's part of their culture where they go every week and it's normalized in that way. And for a time, it was much more frequent in attendance. We're Italians and it was down the street, so it was kind of a frequent thing to do, but not so for me growing up, and it's not really my deal. So not spending a lot of time in there. Anytime I find myself in a historic place or a historic cemetery, I'm always really impressed. And I have a minor daydream about the biggest pedestal or whatever, the little houses that they built in marble and on the huge engraving, and the ones that are really sad or really thoughtful or really large, because it just calls to mind how important it was to memorialize that loss. These things are not cheap now.
Right.
And
right.
And it was just astronomical. It was years and years and years of wages to create. Sometimes people would save long after the death. Sometimes it would be a 20 or 30 year process to increase, like people buy an engagement ring and then some couples will turn it in and get a bigger one until you get the bigger one, the one that you wanted, and that takes you 10 or 20 or 30 years. They would do the same thing with all those monuments. And I have had the little daydream, like, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to have a really, really giant thing or whatever, and to not have to put in all the years to get it done, but just to think, oh, somebody cared that much and had the means, both things at once. That's a nice little daydream that's gone in a blip. Because if I want that, I could be saving for my little creepy shit right now. I know I've told you this before. My parents have already set up and made all of their plans only in response to my husband's father unexpectedly passing due to an undiagnosed heart condition. He died when he was on vacation. Super awful. We didn't get to see him. So when this happened and everybody was going through the services, my parents were there, and my husband's the oldest, so he's doing the whole thing, grieving his dad, dealing with the whole thing unexpectedly, and writing checks and shaking hands with, people in creepy suits and all the rest. And they thought, we don't want to ever put you kids through this. We'll just do it in advance. So basically, you can walk up and someone will slide you a piece of paper and say, here's what they wanted, and P.S. it's paid. There you go. So that's the reason. Maybe they're doing this, and as an offshoot of being nice to you, they did the thing where, well, all of our friends have decided we're going to die sometime in the next couple of anyways, so let's start having a party now. We'll have our drinks, and I want this drawer with the view of the door that I can't see. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's part of their processing, right? I don't know.
To be honest, I'm not going down there to visit, because of the way I personally feel about you're gone. You're gone. Like, you are not in there. If I want to talk to you, you don't think I talk to my Nana on the regular as it is now? I mean, her phone number is still in my phone. I could call her. Her voice is on my answering machine. Yeah, dear listener, I have an answering machine. And the first 4 messages, the only 4 messages, are from my Nana. And occasionally, I play them and I hear her. And it's scary, creepy, and wonderful at the same time.
It's important.
So anyway...
well, this is a super toe tapper of an episode.
Sorry.
But the other thing, the other thing I was trying to say to you about those directives, just to get back to it, Janine, best friend of the pod, emergency room nurse, all this, runs all the business, all the things, right? She would say with sadness that the people who had always the people who had the most airtight directives.
Yes.
Do not, negative, pull it. I don't want it. I know exactly. And it's all done and buttoned up and triplicate and ready to roll are the ones who are absolutely the healthiest and would pull through if you did it.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was always the ones who, if you would just give me an inch, man, I'm going to keep you here and you'll be fine. Right. But they're like, no, they're not going to risk it. And then it's the other ones who were like, already on 18 plugs and mechanical devices, and they're saying, do extraordinary measures.
Save me.
It's like, are you kidding? For what? For more medical bills? So
that's crazy.
We humans are some complicated, stupid people.
We are.
Stepping shit up to our tits.
We have to cut our feet off because I can't ever imagine bringing that into my house. I'll take a faux foot. That's fine. You said you had a retraction from last podcast. Do you have anything you'd like to retract?
I did. Paulie is up in arms over being mischaracterized 2 shows ago. Mischaracterized in grading the bathroom. We've seen a lot of bathrooms on our travels up and down the East Coast, and I mentioned that he had downgraded a bathroom. And we were stunned that he was such a aggressive and negative judge. He was the Russian judge. Well, potty priss.
He's a potty priss.
He was a potty priss. So
the elusive potty priss.
He caught wind of this and demanded to hear how it was described, and indeed said, "I gave it a B-, not a D."
No.
So he is furious, and he said that it needed to be addressed. Okay, so in the process of doing that, I thought I would start a few other retractions, and I was trying to come up with them just to make sure if I'm going to do it, I'm going to New York Times it and do it right. So I did actually come up with 1 or 2. And here I've made a list, and it's in all bold, right? So the number 1 retraction is, Paulie graded that bathroom a B-.
Okay.
So I stand corrected. I would like to retract my own words from the previous 201 episodes. Anything I've ever said, I think I need to just retract it.
Oh, no.
The other one that I have, well, it's every time I hear one of these things, I'm like, oh, that's not what I meant. And I didn't really say that right. Oh, I sound like a dick, like on and on. So we're just going to let that go. So what I did actually write here, Missy is not making me mean. Which you already know. But
the thought that you thought I was doing it or that I was mean... I've been sending you be nice TikToks.
It's not. I know that you're not. And after we stopped the other challenge, kids and gang, is that when we record these episodes, we go out of our way to not speak to each other prior. So when we get on here, we're and we bust out all the stuff that we haven't talked in a week and all the things and catching up and blah, 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 blah. And we get through a few things that we had planned to talk about. Rarely do we get through the things that we've planned to talk about. We just end up talking about other things. So when we're done, we turn it off. And then we still sit here and keep talking for like another hour. And that's when usually all the gold comes. And every time we say, why don't we just keep the recording going? But it would never work that way.
Guys, you don't want to hear 2 hours of us. It's not that
No,
good.
I know they don't. But it's like the good stuff always comes later. And that's why when I say Missy is not making me mean, we talked for an hour after that show. And I made my point of what I was actually trying to say. So you heard it. But then the only thing that's out there in the ether is, God, that Amy is such a bitch. But I mean,
I haven't gotten any feedback like that.
I have, because I heard it, and that's the feedback my brain told me.
Oh.
So you are not making me mean. You are not making me mean. And here's the other one. I'm hang on. I gotta just. Okay. A Hummer is a blowjob. It is that.
We know.
It is. I disagree. I still disagree.
No, you don't.
I do disagree.
You don't.
I can never. Somebody said it on the weekend, and I said that's not what it is. But I was trying to. Put
Did you really argue with somebody at a lacrosse tournament about it?
No, I don't. No, I don't argue with anybody about it. I know the truth, and I know the truth. When you have something in. This sounds horrible in this context. When you have something in your brain, that's what I was gonna say.
When you have something in your mouth.
When you learn it one way, that's the way. That's what I don't know why.
What are you, the Mandalorian? This is the way.
I don't want to retract anything anymore. It's not going the way that I thought it was going to go. I'm saying, I'm trying to be good. I tried to put one on here, Gwyneth Paltrow, but I can't retract it because she's terrible. I tried to put one on here on Jeffrey Toobin, but I can't retract it because I don't want to work with him.
I do the other side of the coin for that. So we have a little push and pull. She said going on here. I have a question for you.
I will answer it.
We've discussed tipping before, right?
Oh no. Oh God, that's your question. Okay.
I want to know, during COVID, our tips went up. We raised our game on tipping because of people who were actually doing the Lord's work by delivering our groceries, and all of the people who were still working were definitely necessary to keep our lives moving. So we raised our game on tipping. Are we back to regular tipping? Did we drop down from COVID tipping to normal tipping again?
I don't know the answer. The expectation from the food service industry is that we did not go back to regular tipping. We did not.
I don't know that I can handle that.
I bought deli items.
Yeah.
And they invited me to give them a tip. Deli items.
In the supermarket?
No, in just a deli. I went in there and, get this. It's counter service. Not even, it's takeout. I walk in. I say, I'm looking up at a chalkboard.
Yes, okay.
I would like numeral 10. They make numeral 10 with no special objects for me. And now I pay for numeral 10 and they would like a tip. The tip is, where's the, did you bring it out to my car? Did I ask you to do it in triplicate? I'm a generous tipper, but that's crossing into other territory. It's not the same when the business was not able to stay open, or they did open and we're putting our lives at risk and all the rest of it.
Agree.
Agree.
Nod.
Now we're in a really tricky spot because there's places where you never tip at the counter. You're not even at the counter. You're not even sitting at the counter. It's not even a buffet. I'm not even having a gray area where, people are here and they're busting.
You did refill my drink 3 times.
None of that has even happened. You are a cashier, right? You are a cashier.
So are you saying it's like going to the supermarket and seeing that cashier say, did you want to leave a tip for me?
That's what's next. That's absolutely what that was. There's that area, which is one whole thing. But what you're describing and discussing is a separate and more troubling thing, which is we as consumers are now invited, encouraged. I don't even know what the word would be. It's in our brain space that we are somehow complicit in the operation of a restaurant business. We are complicit in that operation. In the beginning during COVID, this was opening during a snowstorm, right? This was delivering into, delivering in the middle of a typhoon, right? This is a big deal that you're doing it. Now, when everybody is trying to come back and trying
Absolutely.
to be open,
Yes. Normalcy.
there is a lot of public pressure, and among people who go out all the time, there's reasonable pressure. We're putting it on ourselves. How involved do we have to be in sustaining your workforce, right? These are hard jobs, and not as many people
we're dining
are
out.
available. Not as many people are available to work these jobs, and it's not exclusively because they're getting funding from some government source or a political topic. It is much more likely that we previously had seasonal work in this country that was held by immigrants, people who would come, they're kids who would come from Czechoslovakia, who would come from who knows where. They fly in for the summer, they work all these summer jobs, and then they leave, and they're not here. They're just absolutely not available. And the little teen kids aren't working these jobs. The little American teens aren't doing them. But so what does this mean? So we either don't get to eat a hamburger. That's an okay choice for me, right? I get it. If it doesn't work and we have to reinvent this industry, let's do it. What I don't want to hear is that we're reinventing this industry and now Amy has to pay $97 for a cheeseburger that's not worth 10. That's not worth 10. That's not okay. That's not okay.
So you are a fan of scaling back to tipping as opposed to tipping. Like, because we really, if you're buying groceries and they're $80, you were paying like $1.20 for those groceries because here's the tip we recommend. Here's like, wait a minute. It's not, it's the only roll of toilet paper.
I've never been a fan of tipping. I've said that on this podcast 1,000 times. It makes me uncomfortable, period. That doesn't mean I'm a poor tipper. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm an overly generous tipper because I'm already uncomfortable. And that's the only way that I can get comfortable with it is knowing that I did a better than A+ job at the tipping. I hate it. I feel taken advantage of, but I do it, right? So what I would prefer and what happens in just a handful of places here in where I live now, I was going to say my hometown, couldn't even get it out of my mouth, right? We have a couple of restaurants who have, from the day they started long before COVID, said because they're places that are neurodiverse, so they include a lot of people who otherwise couldn't have gotten a job. There's a place that has some convicts working there. So it's all these things. It's great. And you're like, ooh, I like eating here because I'm supporting people who need some support. In addition to, that sandwich is banging. So, okay, we do that. And they proudly proclaim, we pay great wages for every person who is associated with our business, every person who works here. We are a no tipping establishment.
Oh.
So much so that if you feel your service was so extraordinary that you must leave a tip, we will gratefully receive it and donate it to these 3 causes. So there's no chance that you get to tip anybody here. We are absolutely no tipping because we're all, part of this is the neurodiverse thing. I think they're trying to, they don't want it to be a problem for
anyone.
Gets a lot of tips,
right,
and now it becomes a brain fuck. Yeah. No, why? Whatever their reason, we pay. The other place is just a she fancy place in town, and they're like, we pay everybody here. That's why everything's so good. And I would rather come in and pay an honest amount for the food. We are all fooled into thinking, okay, food in America is like sizes at Old Navy. They're just lying.
They're wrong. Yeah.
They're wrong. You are not the same size pants that you have been for the past 18 years. They have increased the amount of fabric and not changed the size. And when you shop at Old Navy, they have made the numbers go down so that the clothes get bigger. If you hold up a piece of clothing from Old Navy and get any other piece of clothes from anywhere else, it is gigantic. It's because they know that people would rather buy the number of their clothes. I'm a size 8 or whatever I am.
That's
instead
crazy.
of, yes. And the same is true with food. It doesn't cost 99 cents for a taco because it cost 99 cents for a taco in 1971. Things have gone up in price. So the hamburger that you're paying $2 or $3 or $7 for is probably a $10 hamburger in a restaurant. And you're used to paying $7, and that's why they're charging you $3 for the drink and expecting a tip, because they're not paying the server. I would rather pay $15 for a burger and a drink and not have to worry about who carried it to my table. Pay them a wage. All right, I'm done.
All right. So that's in the food industry. And I kind of agree that we're back to now everybody's working and you're no longer doing God's work. I don't even know if you were doing God's work when we were in the middle of it, when I go out to dinner now. I don't know if you were sitting on your couch like I was, hoping that in that storm somebody else is bringing you. What about the guy who came to service the heat and air conditioning, our HVAC guy who came to do the house? Stuart's like, do you have a 5? I'm like, a 5?
No, he needs to be stopped. No, he needs to be stopped. Unless something was excessive, extraordinary,
above and beyond,
over and above. You don't tip that. We have another couple here. I don't know what I feel like they're doing it in a showy way. And Stuart is 1,000% not
doing
showy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, I think he can be reminded that's not what you need to do. The showy way is when the big lawn care team comes to do a big all day project, like a mulch thing, they would go and get breakfast sandwiches for everybody and feed everybody in the morning. I'm like, you're not a plantation owner. What are you doing?
Right.
It was just weird. It was just, anyway, there's some people who never go to a meeting without a giant box of donuts or all these tomatoes because it's tomato season. That's very nice. And at a certain point, it becomes, I see what you're doing. When somebody is working on stuff in your house, treat them as close to a guest as you can. Would you like a cup of coffee in the morning?
Yep.
Would you like a soda? How about a water? If you're putting out snacks or for the kids, maybe you guys have got some Halloween candy. You want a little treat? Something like this. I don't think you have to walk out there when they're done and say, for your trouble. I mean, I don't think you have to give them cash. I don't. Unless there's a reason for it. A regular service, I wouldn't give $5. I wouldn't. Maybe that makes me a horrible person. I don't think it does. I wouldn't do it. And it's very hot here. It's not hot where you are.
No, we've had 100 degrees the last few days. Yesterday
That's very hot where you are. What happened?
I don't know. I really don't know. And our friends on the West Coast had it really bad.
Oh my God. Shit's bursting into flames. That's awful.
That's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy what's going on out there. Can you tell me, if you were a man, what kind of man would you want to be? Tell me what kind of man.
It's so interesting that you ask that question in that way.
Is that Chicago, by the way?
No, I don't even know that song. Do it again.
Life. Oh, no. You're not going to get it from my singing.
I already got you twice. You sing so beautifully, lovely. I
what
love
kind
it
of man?
You sing from your heart.
Oh, that's the problem. I sing from my labia. Of course I sing from my heart.
That's never a problem. It's never a problem. You sing from your heart. The best singers in the world only sound good when they sing from their heart. Singing with precision and perfection is crap. It's like that deaf person who plays a piano.
Perfectly, logistically.
You have to. It is moving. I
wonder what happened to her.
And lovely when you hear someone singing for the expression of it. And that is what singing from the heart is. And that is what you were doing when you were.
Did you catch that I put you on in our closing music? I put your song last week. You were
Oh God.
You didn't hear it?
What?
Never mind. Nothing.
Why are you like this all the time?
Learn to edit.
Why do you do
Nothing.
this? And you have that drop in there from me yelling
Brian!
at my husband. I hate that. I hate that so much. I was so Brian. We were stressed. We were in the middle of the thing.
But you were still
the internet
nice.
was not working. Didn't sound nice to me.
Brian!
It sounded mean. It sounded mean.
No.
I didn't like it. I love the way that you asked that question. If you were a man, what kind of man would you want to be? Because it completely turned. I put on our board, what kind of man do you want to be? Because I have a little story that goes with it. I've been sitting on this story for several weeks. So to recall it is fun, and I might or I might not, because when you ask the question, if I were a man, what kind of man would I want to be? I completely reframed it in my head. I would want to be exactly the kind of person that I was just getting ready to chastise with my little story.
Oh, shut up. Are you serious?
Yes, that's how deep and ingrained it is. I have 3 boys. I have a male dog. I have a husband. We got a lot of testosterone up in this bitch, okay? And the little one, who is not little, he's taller than me. The little one is now both very skilled and successful and dedicated to his sport of choice, lacrosse. He is sticking with it. The older two played lacrosse. Time was we had 3 of them going all at once. That's a lot. The little one is now playing at a level where each increasing championship opportunity, each increasing league, there's more and more seriousness in the play, in the coaches, in the competition, in the parents.
Screaming on the sidelines.
There's that. There's always that. And there's that even when you're in the no chance bizarre league, right? Nobody cares. What are you doing? There's still people losing their fucking mind, which is ridiculous to me. All right. So when it matters, it's okay to lose your mind maybe a little bit, but not,
Not by stepping in shit. But
some people who are not us, some people get fist fights over this nonsense. It's like, are you, oh yes. It's some high energy engagement. They're in it to win it. So when you asked me that question, my brain immediately went, I would want to be the John Wayne, badass, tough, take no shit. People look at you, whoa, step to the side. That's exactly the kind of man that I want to be. I want to be silent because I don't know what that's like to even pretend I can be silent. For any second, I married a silent man. I want to be just, stand there, arms crossed, like, fucking try it. That's the kind of man that I want to be, because that's I'm not that at all. I'm super not that at all. I'm like a daisy flower picking, can I give you a bigger hug kind of a person. But if I was a man, I'm going to snap that shit off and pop you with it. That's immediately where my brain went. Weeks ago, we had a couple of kids get injured on the lacrosse field, right? Badly injured. This way, that way, the other way. And this one kid's there, and he's hurt, and he's sitting down, and he's really hurt. Like, I'm questioning, is there a broken bone up in there hurt? Like, it's hurt. And he's sitting down, and the next game is coming up, and I happen to walk by. Just, honestly, I was just passing. I wasn't even involved. A lot of times I'm like, can I get you some ice? How can I help? He was already icing. He's seated, walking by, and I hear the dad say to him, well, I guess you need to decide, what kind of man do you want to be? Because he was trying to pump him up to play in the next game.
No.
With a possibly broken wrist. And that little kid went back out there and played the next game.
Oh, no. And then
That's
his arm fell off.
And part of it, there's, another player on a different league where all the families have kids different ages. He's a little bit older. He's playing with a broken rib. Goes to the doctor. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of having some trouble. I'm not really sure if maybe I pulled something. And he's like, the doctor looked at him and said, are you a tough guy? And the kid says, I don't know. And the doctor says, I think you are, because you got 2 broken ribs here and over here. And the only one you're complaining about is broken in one place. This one's already snapped. Like, what are you doing? And he looks at, and this is one of these ortho doctors, plays the same man card. He looks over and he goes, so if I tell you that you're not really supposed to play for the next 6 weeks, you going to listen? And he kind of smiled at him. And he goes, yeah, I didn't think you would. So here's what you do. So the doctor tells him how to play with this fucking stuff. And they do it. And
I mean, if you were a professional athlete and you were getting paid and it was part of your...
How did they get that way? How did they get that way? They get that way because from as far back as into my female brain that has nothing to do with this conversation, I have an archetype that is so ingrained that even when I know it's not the kind of man that I want walking around in the world, that's the only kind of man I want to be. That's how deep this shit goes. This is what you're doing with this little kid. I was already doing it. I was already doing it immediately on a subconscious level. So I don't know. It's going to take a lot more than finger wagging to break it. And maybe some people don't even want to break it. Maybe some people are going, that's right. That's what you should do. That's your correct do. I don't know. I'm watching Jane Austen. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I don't think I would be very different as a man than I am as a woman. I mean, I don't really, I really respect and care about the things that I respect and care about. And I don't know that adding a penis, other than putting your parts outside would really, other than society's
you gotta get the
expectations of
juice.
you.
It's not just the penis. You got to get the juice to pump it up. I mean, the juice is the problem.
No,
not
it's
the appendage.
society's expectations of you and what you as a man are expected to do. And I really wish society could take that shift to make it less aggro, to make it less angry, to make it less. A sign of a man is caring and not violence. The sign of a man to be warmth and creative and intelligent instead of packing and angry and, I mean, always strong. Like, can we flip that? Is there anything we can do to flip that?
And that's the other issue is rites of passage. Does it have to be a rite of passage that you overcome a physical injury, that you somehow ignore physical signs and symptoms? Is that part of it, right? Because it's not just in the sports field that we're, muscle through it, don't go to the doctor, sickness is a weakness, all this kind of nonsense. Yeah, it's nonsense on some level, but how far back does it go culturally? And
oh my God,
societally?
you have to go kill the wolf and then we'll blood you. And then, it goes back to the beginning.
And there are people still doing that shit. I know 2 people that I worked with who proudly stand there videotaping, smearing the blood on their kids like this month. That's not a dying out thing. That's just a continuation of in our house, we're whatever. My grandfather taught me how to make pasta. Like, I shall kill this boar and, eat its entrails.
I think there's a big difference
Everybody
between
does their own thing.
One that doesn't take a life. And we're watching Yellowstone, Stuart and I, and we love it.
I'm so glad. Oh, I love that show so much.
We're in season 3. We're coming to the
best season of the whole thing.
We're coming to the end, and I know it doesn't start again until September. So
I thought it was August.
No, they pushed it again. I know. But then they made a comment like, you're going to have to wait to find out what happens to, and they threw 2 names down, and I was like, fuck you.
We know what happens. We have brains in our heads. Gang, I just want to put out a little shout out for Yellowstone, and it's on the Peacock. But I'm here to tell you, you absolutely have to get it. You have to do it, and you have to get it. And you frankly take a week off of work because now once you start, you won't be able to stop it. And don't come at me with, I watched 5 minutes and I didn't really get hooked. Well, then there's a problem with you and you need to sit down longer.
Dear listener, you got a problem.
Sit down longer. You need to sit down longer because it's coming. The whole thing, there's not a thing about it that's bad. It's all good. And frankly, it's all these archetypes. It's them. In addition to this, they have 4 if you count her. They have 4 male characters, 3 males and a very, very male-esque female character who are all dealing with 5 characters. Everybody's dealing with the male archetype, and they're all looking at it from different perspectives: young, old, broken this way, broken that way, trying to do the right thing. It is a delightful study in humanity. And even if you don't care about any of that stupid shit, it's beautiful. They have gorgeous landscape scenery. If you're not watching it, I'm here to tell you, that's a bigger red flag than having a canvas tattoo stretched of your.
I don't know. That's a deal breaker.
I'm trying to say, you got to watch this show.
The neighbor boy's going to Montana State. And as we're watching it, he's leaving in the fall. As we're watching, we're like, oh my God, does he really get to look at all of that beauty? Do we need to get a cabin out there? And then I thought, I don't know. That's far.
2 of our neighbors, one in a previous year and one right now as we speak, have gone and done this ranch experience when you can go out there and the pictures are exactly the same. They're fishing. They're wearing all this shit. They're doing, I don't know how to fucking fish. They're riding the horses. It's exactly the same scenery. It makes me think that they went out to that exact same place. Or there's just lots of it out there in the western side and everything's delightful. It's so good, you guys. You got to watch it.
Are there like 3 movies that you could not pass if you were held at gunpoint while flicking channels? What movies would come up where you would say, I have to now sit here for the next 40 minutes and watch the end of this movie?
Well, I get embarrassed when I have to admit these things out loud, but it's true. Doolittle took me riding. That's a woman pig. You don't know what I'm saying? Oh, my God. I'm staring at you because you don't know what I'm saying.
Give me
you have to leave this show right now.
Give me another quote. Sounds like Steel Magnolias. Give me another quote.
I'm a coal miner's daughter.
Oh, coal miner's daughter. Well, you sang it.
Took me riding. Come on now. I don't believe.
I don't think I've seen the coal miner's daughter.
I don't think I it could be playing somewhere right now, and I would leave the show to go watch it.
Is that Sissy Spacek? Who is that?
Is that Sissy Spacek?
Who is that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Oscar winner Sissy Spacek.
For this role, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you. Nobody puts baby in a corner because she's too busy watching Coal Miner's Daughter.
All right, I'm putting that on my list of must-watch.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is a must-watch, a must-drop everything and watch all the way through to the end, no matter when it starts or what point in the movie where you're in it. You got to watch it all the way to the end. That's it. Pillow talk. Pillow talk. Must be a pillow talking boy for me. I love Pillow Talk. It's the other one. It's super good. And that drunk maid that gets wiped out in the elevator, that shit's hilarious.
Dear listener, is there a show or movie that if you pass it on TV that you have to stop and watch the rest of it? Write us at brilliantobservations@gmail.com and let us know. I have Dirty Dancing on that list. I can't pass it by. I know every word to every... Ghost is a tough one, but I don't want to see the bad shit happen again. I just want the highlights of that one. Fletch is what I got sucked into the other day because Fletch is one of the best fucking movies. And I had to word for word that one too. It really annoys my husband when I do that. He says it doesn't, but I know better when he's like...
He lies. He does nothing but lie when he's around you.
Yeah, probably. That's probably true.
In the best way. Because I'm doing it, I'm thinking,
I can do another one of yours.
What?
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes.
There's no way you could walk away from that.
Well, you could really give me any Jane Austen and I'll seek it out and watch it. And I could quote any one of those 1,000%. Any of them. Persuasion. I'll even watch that shit. So that's what I'm saying. I got the Jane Austens real bad. Yes, I would do those. I used to be... I can't put everything in this category because there are parts that I will watch, but I can't watch the sad stuff. Like I love the happy part, and when I know the sad part is coming, I'm not watching that shit. I don't need to see Lion King. I can cut that out.
Yeah, Mallory.
Why do I have to watch this again? I know what's getting ready to happen from the top of that rock. Why would I watch it? So Top Gun was on last night. Yeah, of course. I'll watch a couple of dogfight scenes. I'll get the volleyball going. Yeah, why wouldn't I watch this? But I'm not going to watch it when he's crying about, Kelly Ripa in the bar scene.
McGillis.
Shut up, whatever. They're all the same people.
Oh my God, they are not the same people.
Oh, come on.
All them Kellys, is that what you're thinking?
He left her anyway. Tom Skerritt is going to help him. Whew, Tom Skerritt. What's up?
He's pretty great too.
That checks out. Because he's another one. Oh, you know who he's like? That other guy from, I'm not going to know any of these names. You have to cut all this out. The guy from the Star Trek movie with that little, one of the shit eaters is the headliner guy, but then the boss in the Star Trek movie is very Tom Skerritt-like. I feel like he's an Australian guy. All these Australians.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And then the Sam somebody from Jurassic Park. He's another Australian guy. All those Australian guys. Because guess who else Australian?
Hey, can I put in a request? So this year, there's a huge...
I told you, you had to wait for it.
Huge Jackman.
And he's so awesome and great
at
every
everything.
way. The more you learn about him, you think, Hugh... Come on.
I'd like to put in a request. This year, there is a conference called She Podcasts Live. It's Women in Podcasting that is occurring in Scottsdale, Arizona. I would like it to be in Australia next year.
Thank you.
That Amy and I can visit all of the Australians that she has called out in this episode. And we can...
Evidently, they're all really good because we didn't know it in advance, but evidently they're all really good.
Share with us your thoughts on any of our topics from today's show. Listen Brilliant on Twitter. Amy will see you there. I tweet a lot less. It's just a terrible place to get sucked down. But we have a presence, or Instagram at Listen Brilliant, or find us on Facebook, Brilliant Observations, Brilab Squad. We are curious and eager to hear your opinions.
She's eager.
If you stepped in a pile of shit, would you cut your foot off? Like, what is the next step after your toes feel?
Is there enough soap? Is there enough soap for stepping in?
Do you go get a pedicure and then say, "Oh, sorry, a little dirty"? And would you wear teeth as jewelry? I mean, I'm going to post this picture. It's a must-see.
So gross. It's so gross. I can't believe she's going to do it.
It's a must-see. Yeah, we apologize in advance. Love you.
Bye. Brian.